first finger on the 3rd fret, 1st string, 2nd finger on the 4th fret, 2nd string, and we're just doing a little blues bend here. Now you're just bending your 2nd string here up just slightly with your 2nd finger. So it's not a real big bend, you just lightly bend it. And then I was going 5, 3, 5 on the 3rd string. You could give this 3rd string here some vibrato on the 5th fret. Now this blues riff here, if you don't know this, I guess the thinking behind it would be, here's your C chord, or your C power chord. That riff would be underneath here. So if you're playing C sharp, D, if you're playing in D, the riff is right here. Okay, so after I did this riff here, basically twice, then I went down here to the 5th fret on the 4th string. So I went 5, 7, 5, and then I just bent. So when I bent this note here on the 7th fret, 3rd string, I picked it once. So you pick it, you hit it, bend it, and let it come down. So you're only picking once. And then I'm just playing on the 4th string, 7, 8, and then back to C here. So from the beginning. A little slower. And then after that, I went back to this same note we just bent, and I just did smaller little bends. So. So I'm kind of doing a little pull off here. Sort of a hammer-on pull-off from the 5 to the 5th fret here. And this would just be 8, the 8th fret, 2nd string, and then bend that same note again for the last time. So you have and then I went up here 5, 7 on the 4th string, and then I did double stops on the 2nd and 3rd string. So now sometimes I might do these double stops different. Here I was hitting them a couple times before I slid. Sometimes I might just hit them once and then slide. So from the beginning. Okay, here's the next part of the solo. I'm just playing here on the 3rd string, 1st fret to the 2nd fret. And then on the 1st fret with my 1st finger, I'm barring down on the 1st and 2nd string, and I'm just hitting 2, 1 after that. And then I'm sliding into the 6th fret on the 2nd string into my F. So all of this is an F. And then I was simply playing out of the 5-note box position. Okay, after that, then I was bending on the 1st string here. So I guess you could do this after you slide down. You could hit this note and then do your bend. And then I'm just coming back to my F here. And now I'm sliding from this one. So again, slowly the 5-note box position would be. And I'm just giving these some vibrato and just kind of shaking them. You can bend this one if you want. Okay, then we're back here in C. Now I just went back to the opening riff, which was that bend. And I'm just hitting it several times as I bend the 2nd string. And then just bend it once the 2nd time. So we have. And then we're going back here. So let me just do that slowly again. So we're doing the same bend as we did in the opening riff, but instead of going to this note here on the 8th fret, I'm bending this one down on the 7th fret to the same pitch as this note. And then just giving that some vibrato if you want. Okay, then after that we're going to G. Just playing your common little blues riff here. So this would be 2nd string, 6th fret, and then your 2nd finger on the 7th fret, 3rd string, sliding. So double stops on the 3rd and 2nd string. You can kind of do whatever you want in there, make up your own little riff. But basically that's what I'm kind of playing when I go to G. And then when I went to F, so I'm bending the 3rd string, hitting these 2 notes here. And then I'm going 4, 3, 1. And this playing this note here. So let's see, you know, pretty close to what I played in the opening video. You know, I'll do it different every time, but that's kind of what I'm doing. And then later, basically I'm going down here to the 13th fret on the 2nd string. So we're going back to C now. So after we came from F, I went down here back to C, to the 13th fret, and I'm just playing out of a 4-note box here position. So we have, the notes would be 11th fret, 2nd string, 13th fret, and then the same thing on the 1st string, 11, 13. So this is our C note right here, because we're back in the key of C now. So when I started the solo and slid down, I went right into that C note. Bent this one up. 1st string, 11th fret. And I'm just shaking this note, just hitting it several times, and just letting it get some vibrato. And I'm bending up on this one, just slightly. And then a bend on the 13th fret. And you can just hit that once, or you can pick it a couple times as you bend it. Back to the 11th fret, and back to your C. And then I was going to the 11th fret. So really simple. And again, I'm shaking these notes. Okay, after that, then we're going back to F, and we're just doing our little blues slide here with a 2-note riff. Double stops on the second and third string. And I'll just play it one more time here slowly for you. So that's F. Okay, and then we're back here in C. And we're just basically going back to the same riff that we played earlier in C here, with the same bend. Doing the little country riff. So that's what I did on this one. I bent it, and then I added that 8th fret second string. And now, so then we went back to our double stops on the second and third string. And now since, so when I end the riff here in C to the 3rd fret, our next chord is G, and we're all ready to go to G, so then I'll just play a riff here in G. So we have, we're bending the 3rd string. So we're bending, and then we're playing the 2nd and 1st string with our 1st finger barred. Doing a hammer on. Back to our root note. And now to F. I was doing a hammer on pull off on the 1st and 4th fret on the 2nd string. So when I start this riff, I'm just picking it once. So I'm just using my finger strength to play it. You can sometimes try to pick it a bit, but it's best if you just pick it once and just try to just play it without picking it. So that's F, and then I just slid that down to the 8th fret, keeping the same spacing, your 1st finger and your 4th finger, and just played it here on the 8th and 11th fret. So this is our C, and then I'm just tapping on the 13th fret on the same string. And then what I did was I held my finger down on the tapping fret, and then I bent that note just like you would normally bend. But I just did that as I was pushing down on the 13th fret. And then brought it down. And if you want, you can pull off on that, or you can just simply just bring it down. So you would lift off as you're just bringing it down to get that kind of effect, or you could just simply bring the note down with your finger. After that, this riff here actually, you know, I would always play an F. A lot of times I would just do that little simple hammer-on pull-off. And then one day I was just playing on stage and I thought, okay, I'll play it here in C. So I thought, well, there's got to be something cool in here to tap. So I know you can tap 2 frets down. So I did that, and I thought, well, there's got to be something else, you know, I can do after that. So for some reason I just bent that string, and then I kept my finger there and then brought it down and then went, hey, that sounds kind of cool, because that's just kind of a neat effect, you know. So the whole idea of this is that it is an effect, and that's what I'm trying to show when I'm playing this. So what I'll do after that is, since I'm tapping with my finger, is instead of putting the pick back in my hand, the riff after the tap, I'll play with my first finger, because I'm going for a different effect, so I'm going for a different kind of sound. So I'll play more of a funky thing in C here. Because what I'm doing is I'm kind of slapping my first finger, just using the fingernail. A lot of the stuff that I'll play in there, I mean, I'll play it different every time, is I'll bar all of that 8th fret in your C here. And I'm just, a lot of the stuff is just hammer-ons to the root note. And the note underneath the root note. And you can bend that one. And then after that, this stuff here, then I'll go back to the pick. So again, you know, you're trying to get a different sound by doing something maybe a little funkier. Just because it has more of a tack and more of a snapping sound when you use your fingernail. No, I wouldn't play a whole solo just using that finger like that. Again, it's an effect, so you're just trying to do something different here. This tapping riff, a lot of times if I'm playing that, you know, I don't have a whole lot of gain on my guitar right now. I would probably be, I'd have a distortion setting on, so that I'm going to get, this riff is just going to be so much easier to play with a lot of distortion, and I'll get a lot more sustain when I'm bending it up and bringing it down. It's just going to last longer, whereas there's no, I don't have much, you know, sustain on my guitar right now, since I'm just using an overdrive effect here. Okay, after that, then we're going back to the 13th fret on our 2nd string, back to our C. And then what I was doing is I'm breaking the riff up, and then I'm going back to this blues bend here on the 3rd fret. So you have now, sometimes when I'm playing this bend here, I'll hit the notes on the 3rd string. It'll be 3, 5, and then also on the 4th string I'm using these notes also. So you can make up your own little riffs and add these strings in. See, I'm doing a hammer on here. So I broke it up by just playing part of it here and then the second half of it here. So that's C, and then to F, I went up here. Now the notes I'm playing are the first fret and then the third fret, so I'm just playing the octaves. Let me just play it slowly. And when I'm playing this, I'm snapping this fourth string. So when I'm doing the hammer on, I'm getting a snapping sound on that fourth string. So you could start it with 2 hits on the F. And then a lot of times I'll just use my pinky here instead of my third finger. But you can hear how I'm getting that snappy sound. And I'm just using my fingernail, I'm just going underneath the string, and I'm just pulling it. And then after that, we just went back down to C. Now to G. So I'm doing a bit of a country bend. So third string, 5th fret, and your pinky's on the second string, 6th fret. And I'm just letting those ring as I hit them, and then as I hit those, I'm using my second and third finger. Again, you can hit this with a pick if you want, but if you're not used to playing the hybrid style. So. Again, you can do anything you want kind of in your G and your F, because you're not staying there very long. And then down here in C, I went to another country riff. Now this, again, you know, this is something I just made up. So, now some guys know this, you can, some of the country players know this, you can pull off that first string to an open string. So you get that kind of sound. So here's your C. So I'm just playing out of your C chord, the first and third string. So we're in the 8th fret to the 6th fret. So I'll just play the notes for you. These two, 5th fret, 3rd fret, and then I'm just pulling off the first string. And again, I'm using pick on the 3rd string and my second finger on the 1st string. So I'll play with these two fingers, and then I'll switch to these two, to my second and third finger. Now when we get here, I'm bending the second string on the third fret. So I hit it as I'm bending it up, and let it come up and down, and then I move up to the next string, to the third string, the same fret, and this one I'm doing is a pre-bend and release. So I'll bend the note up quite high, and I don't hit it as I'm bending it, so I'm holding it up there. This you have to do quite fast to get the effect, and then I'm just going to hit it on the way down. If you just did it by itself, it'll sound kind of sour, but it didn't sound bad with this. Now, again, you know, like I said, this is just something I made up. You know, I practiced in my backing tracks when I do this stuff, and basically these days I just I teach myself these riffs because you know, I think that's the only way I can really learn these days, is just by practicing and just making up stuff, you know, on my own. So how did I make this up? Well, not that this is the most perfect riff in the world, but I came up with this first, and then I thought, okay, it'd be kind of neat to do a bend in here, but let's not go back to these bends here. There's got to be a bend in here somewhere. So I thought, okay, so I'm in C. So what I did was I took a little simple country riff that I use once in a while, and it's those two same notes, and I played with an open string, and my little country riff is this. So I just took that note and I thought, okay, let's bend this one. And then let's bend the next one above it to see, there's got to be a bend in here somewhere. And I just kind of bent that, and I thought, okay, that's cool, because then I can slide back into my C here. Again, you can hear how that note comes out, the bend, because I'm hitting it, I'm plucking with my fingernails, so I'm really snapping that bend. So it's giving it lots of attack. And the same thing with that string. I'm plucking that with my second finger. You know, so the usual country player stuff, you know, short nails on this hand, longer nails on this hand, because I'm always playing pick and finger. Doesn't matter what style I play, but that's I think from years of playing classical guitar, when I started playing guitar, it really helped to use the hybrid picking style. And then you could just slide back into that later to your C note here. The only problem with this riff would be when you're coming out of F and you're sliding into C, maybe a timing thing just to get it right. But you know, you can use this anytime you want if you're playing something in C. You could give it some vibrato after it before you slide to C. Okay, here's the scale that I was playing near the end of the solo here. Basically, it would be, here'd be your F on the 13th fret. And basically, I'm playing an F major scale. But I'm kind of resolving it to the root note C here. Second string, 13th fret. So I would end on that note. But really, I'm kind of just playing an F major scale, but going to a C note later. Now, this scale that I'm playing actually would be called, like, I think it's the the C Mixolydian Scale, or a version of it. So I'll just play the notes here for you slowly. I'll just name the finger numbers. So we're playing, starting on the 13th fret, it's 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2. Now you could add this one, the 4, and then come back and then end on your C note. Or you could play, when you come here, you could do this also. You could play that little riff. So it's just... So that's all I'm just playing there, and then when I was playing it in the video, I was just alternate picking it really fast, just building up some speed and just ending kind of on that C note down here.